What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of Crown Wrestling, the spot that brings fight news, leg drops. I tell you, man, we bringing it to you today. We have a great episode. We are talking about the great Sting, and we are talking about the great Undertaker. But before we get to that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Crown Wrestling News. Hit that bell notification so that you can get all the updates. This show is amazing. Also, be sure to stop by my WWE shop. That's right, I said it. My WWE shop. You're going to get some of the latest great gear from Jey Uso, Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, you name it. The list goes on and on. Stop by my WWE shop. Is right inside of the description box. That's where you gotta go. In the description box, you're gonna see my affiliate link for the WWE shop. Be sure to go there and get all that great gear, because if you a crazy knucklehead for wrestling like I am, you're gonna sport it. You're gonna sport it, that's for sure. So, without further ado, let's get right into the show. Crown Wrestling. Subscribe. So throughout the years, we have seen great, amazing matches from the great Sting to the great Undertaker. A lot of moments that these guys really gave their all throughout their careers. And we had a lot of moments that just had the crowd roaring. Which leads me to this topic, which is the top 4 times that Sting stole from The Undertaker. Number 1. So let's go back. This is way back. I want to say February 18th of 1996 in your house. Now, you know that pay-per-view is a dinosaur right now. I remember a time when I used to look at the Preview Guide channel back when I was in Chicago, Illinois. And I used to see the advertisements for In Your House, WWF at the time. And I always wanted to see it, but we never brought the pay-per-view. But it was a big pay-per-view at the time, which was on February 18th of 1996 in your house. We see a match between Bret the Hitman Hart versus Diesel, Kevin Nash on the WCW brand. But his name was Diesel on here, and they fought Bret Hart. And in this match, around the end, we see The Undertaker bust through the ring. All this smoke stars flying in the air and just all over the place. And we see this hand that busts through the ring, pulls Diesel by the leg, and pull him inside of the ring. And we see Diesel, he has this resistance. I mean, the way they captured this, it was like something from a movie. I thought that was great, considering this was back like in 96. But the way they captured, they had the smoke and everything into the air. And The Undertaker creeps from the bottom of the ring and enters. Man, this character was so eerie. Spooky. It was just a great setup the way they did it. So this was back in 96. Let's do a little bit of fast forwarding to a year, 3 months, and a day later. I got my times right, y'all. Stop playing with me. This was May 19th of 1997. It was on a Monday Nitro. So we see Eric Bischoff in the ring dissing Sting, talking all his junk. And if those of you that don't know Eric Bischoff, he was a trash talker, especially when he joined that NWO. That man talked so much smack. But this time he was talking about Sting. And he said, man, when I see this guy, I'm going to just smack all the paint straight off his face. I'm going to just smack Sting up. That's what I feel like doing. But what happens after that? Immediately, we see somebody bust through the ring. Who is it? A man they call Sting. Sting busts through this ring just like the Undertaker. Jumps through, gets Eric Bischoff, and drops him with his famous move and lays him out flat on the ground, looks at the crowd. So this is one time that Sting stole from the Undertaker. Number 2. Let's go to November 16th of 1996. This was a Survivor Series pay-per-view, which is a very popular pay-per-view, even to this day. One of my favorites, I will say. But this time, on this pay-per-view, we had a match between The Undertaker and Mankind. Mankind was one of my, that guy, he creeped me out when I was little. he was a creepy one. He kind of felt like a mixture of Chainsaw and Vader, I believe. Big Bad Vader. Kind of had that kind of vibe about him. But in this match, it was Undertaker versus Mankind on the Survivor Series. Now, Undertaker usually does the traditional walkthrough very slow. That's his style. That's what he did. But this time it was a little bit different when he entered. So Undertaker comes down from the rafters. This was a grand entrance. Totally different from what he usually did. He comes down from the rafters. You know how when Batman fly, he opens up his cape and it looks like these bat wings. This is the exact same thing that they did with Undertaker. In a slow motion kind of effect, he had this bungee cord on. This was back in November 17th of 1996. Undertaker comes down, descends from the rafters. Let's fast forward to 2 months, 3 days later. 2 months and 3 days later, January 20th of 1997. This was a Monday Night Show at the United Center. My place. Got the Grey Bulls playing there, baby. Oh yeah. But this was at the United Center. And what do we see? We see comes down from the rafters just like the Undertaker. Comes down from the rafters and goes inside of the ring. Now, I will say, Sting rocked this better than the Undertaker. So much to the point that he had to keep on doing it. See, Undertaker did it that one time and he never did it after that. I think because when Sting did it, he killed it. It was done. It was done after he did it. So he rocked that. But having said that, this is another time that Sting stole from The Undertaker. Number 3. Let's take it back to August 29th of 1994. This is a SummerSlam. Love that pay-per-view as well. SummerSlam. In this match, we see Undertaker versus Underfaker, clone of Undertaker. He fought himself. And in this match, Undertaker makes his entrance very ominous with dark blue lights and the thunder roaring. Very dark, very creepy, very spooky. That was Undertaker's whole vibe, right? So this was August 29th of 1994. Let's go. December 28th of 1997, a little bit over 3 years later, we head to Starrcade. And this was a mega match because Sting took probably over a year before he fought. He was on the injury list, but during that time, he created this crazy kind of crow character that he brought together in this white face paint. So it was like a whole year before he did in-ring action, but he made it to this Starrcade pay-per-view, December 28th of 1997. Let's talk about, he fought Hulk Hogan this time. Yeah. NWO Hogan, matter of fact. Let's clarify that because Hogan had that belt for so long and he had to come and take it from him. And he won that match. But let's talk about his entrance. What happens in his entrance? Blue lights, thunder sounds. Sounds like The Undertaker to me, right? This is another time that Sting stole from The Undertaker. Number 4. Let's take it all the way back to 1992. This is way back, man. This is a throwback. Let's take it all the way back to 1992 because that year they had another Survivor Series. On this Survivor Series, Undertaker fights Kamala. Scary dude. Funny too, I will say. Yeah, he you know, Kamala had a funniness to himself and a certain creepiness to himself. Yeah, he was a mixture. He was a mixed guy. But this was back in 1992. Survivor Series, Kamala versus Undertaker in this inaugural Coffin match. The first time he ever did it. The first time anybody has ever did. Nobody ever had a coffin match. That was something that was never thought of. But Undertaker did it. First match. Let's fast forward. And we're going to have to do a lot of fast forward. Because this fast forwarding lands us to 31 years later. Pause. 31 years later, bro. August 27 of 2023, a match between Swerve Strickland, shout out to him, he's the AEW champion now. He teamed up with Christian Cage. They fight Darby Allin and a man called Sting. What match was this? Giving you a little bit of time to say it. Time's up. A coffin match. This was a coffin match. 31 years later, Sting stole from The Undertaker. This kind of makes you think too, because I see that Sting gave a lot of gaps, and especially this last one, where he decided to kind of borrow The Undertaker's style. I don't know, maybe he thought that people would forget about it, but everybody don't forget. I think I'm one of them. But this is another time that Sting stole from The Undertaker. Having said that, I think that both of these guys are two legends. They are just remarkable fighters in the ring. They are remarkable characters. And they really created something that captivated the masses and made them feel like they want to watch over and over and over again. And they never failed to deliver that. So thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Crown Wrestling, where we talked about the top 4 times that Sting stole from The Undertaker. I got another treat for you coming soon as well. But we're going to get into that very soon. Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of Crown Wrestling. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Also, stop by my WWE shop. The affiliate link is inside of the description box. Get all your latest wrestling gear. Crown Wrestling. Crown Wrestling. Subscribe.